Hello everyone. Today we're going to install a B&W gooseneck hitch on a Ram 3500 2013. Going to unbox it here. Model number and everything. Got your installation instructions. Got a great guide to drill your holes for your U-bolts, for your chain lockdown, all your bolts and U-bolts and springs and everything you need to install. Got the turnover ball. It's upside down right now. Put this in underneath the bottom of the truck and drill through that to center. Mine already has the hole already in there, so I don't have to do that. We'll have to drill holes for the chains, U-bolts to go through. There's the right side. For your turnover ball to go in, you put it in this way, and then you can pull the pin and then it'll drop in like this, so that way it's flush in the bed. Pin down in there is why I couldn't get it to go the whole way through. This out of the way. This is what goes underneath the side to pull the pin. All your mounting hardware, I'll show you that. When you're underneath of it, you put this up top, underneath the bottom, and then put this plate up. It'll sit kind of like that, and then your bolts will go through the bottom and connect everything. Same on this side. This is a bracket that goes with your handle to pull the pin, and then that will go right where that other one is, so I have a spare one if I ever need one. And that's everything we need to unbox. So now we can get to installing. So we're going to start off by removing the back tire. Simple. Get out your crank, let that sucker down. Not your everyday spare tire. It's a pretty aggressive mud tire. Alright, now we'll go in here. Now we got that out of the way. We need to get this here heat shield out of the way. And then I'll take the exhaust. Right there I have a clamp. Take that exhaust off. Pretty dirty right now. And those three holes right there are where the bolts will go through. That's the main hole where your ball will go in. As you can see, it's kind of dark right now, but the exhaust over there is in the way right now. So is this heat shield. That plate's not super heavy, but it's heavy enough for trying to get one person to put it in with this stuff in the way. You're going to want to remove all that stuff. Get this breather tube out of my way for now. Put that back later. Goes right here. Breather tube for your rear axle. I need to get this thing oil sprayed again. It's getting dirty. Getting rusty. Set this over here.
Alright, so changing my mind. I'm going to try to take the seat shield off first. See how that goes. Appears to be 4 bolts, 10 millimeter. Yeah, that's oil spray for you. This is why I wanted to get that off. Got this here bushing. Got to take this off to get the rest of the exhaust off. Woo! That ain't good. Got rust falling off. I can get that uncoupled. Whoop. Careful now. There we go. Now, take this and slide it right on out of there. Just like that. There we go. Alright. Oh, yeah. Alright. Whew. Now I need to go wash my hands. I'll clean this up. Wire wheel. I'm gonna have to get another battery up there, but alright, got another battery. Since that one died. Go ahead and keep cleaning here. Alright, it's pretty good. Now I'm going to wipe it down with some acetone. That way she's nice and clean. Put some primer on her. Alright, so got me a little thing of lacquer thinner. Take some rags here. Don't want to get this stuff in your eyes. So careful if you're using it overhead. Like I am. Take it and wipe it all over those areas you just cleaned. Gets any oil or extra anything that might cause the paint not to bond very well. Wipe it all over everything. I'm using a mask right now because this thing's got crud all over it, and I'm very prone to getting things in my eyes. Don't want to go to the hospital before I have to go to work. Alright, so I'll let that dry. I'll come back and I'll prime it. Alright, now it should be dry, so I'm going to go ahead and throw some Rust-Oleum primer sealer on there. Try to keep that from getting any worse since it's going to be between 2 pieces of metal. See what happens. Alright, I'll let that dry and I'll be back. Alright, now it's most of the way dry. Go ahead and spray paint it black. Alright, I'll let that dry. Come back and start the installation. Alright, time for the install. Got to take these and put them underneath the bed. You got to find this tab here, put it in that there hole, and line these 3 holes up with those 3 holes there on the side. So you come over, underneath your fender well. You can see that little crevice. You gotta stick it up under here. Try to wiggle it up in there. Try not to get it stuck on something. Like I just did. Kind of hard. Sorry, bad video. Let's see if I can find it underneath. Go underneath here. The first one I could see. This one oh, there it is. You can just barely see it's off. So I reach my fingers underneath here. Ah. I can do it on the back side too, I think. There's just enough space underneath there. You can stick your fingers and move it around just a little bit. I went too far. Okay, here we go. We're getting close now. As I'm getting stuff raining all over me. I'll come back up to the front now. Oh yeah, there we go. I didn't find the, yeah I did. So you make sure all three of those are lined up on both sides. Sorry, that was kind of hard to do one-handed and watch the camera. I got that one done already. I did it so I kind of had an idea what I was doing. The handle's not quite long enough to come out here so you don't see it, which is nice, but it's not quite long enough to, with the space provided, to get it the whole way in and into that hole and line these up. So like I said, stick your hands up here and you can fit a little bit easier with your hands in that space. Line those holes up and you're ready for the next step. This is that piece of steel that I was telling you about. That piece there. You put that underneath where that hole is and you make your mark and you drill that for your hole saw. Mine has already been done because this bed was on a different truck before and they had already done that once before, so I don't have to do that, but I'll be back. One thing I forgot to do that I need to do is put that there spacer in, which is that plastic piece way up there, and it goes underneath in between the cross member and your bed. I'll try to do that. That spacer put in. There it is. Now mine is upside down. I did that and hopefully it won't hurt anything because I have these. And I don't know if I'll be able to use these with this turnover ball, but that goes there and then I can put that over there. So I'm hoping that when I do the turnover ball and it'll sit low enough that I can put this in. I don't know yet, but I will find out shortly. Alright, so now we're going to install the hitch plate. Make sure you got your holes going the same direction. Be careful putting it in. It is kind of heavy. Have two people if you think you need help. Get that, put it in there. Make sure your bolts are by you if you do it by yourself. So that way you don't have to do this twice. Get one. Try to get everything lined up. There we go. As soon as you have one in there, have it started. I'm not sure if that started or not. Nope. Oh, great. Let's try a different one. the piece does not want to stay in line. So it's been a pain. As soon as I put that in there, it just moves. Let's try it again. This sucker up in there. Whew, I'm gonna take a break and I'll be right back. Alright. So I got 2 bolts barely started. A really big pain to get it there. But I got 2 started. Hands are dirty, so I made a mess all over it. Now that I got it started, so I don't have to worry about holding it up, I had this big piece of steel laying in the shop, and I went ahead and tied it to the pin inside the 5th or the gooseneck. That way it'll stay up. I don't have to hold it anymore. If you can find anything to go across your bed and hold that up, and if you had 2 people, and make it easy so one can hold it up, or once you get it up there and before you even start any bolts, they could strap it up like that. That would be awesome. Or find a way to do that yourself from under here safely, if you can find a way to push that up there with a floor jack or something, brace it up so it doesn't fall down on you. Before you get any bolts in, make your life a lot easier so you don't have to try to fight get these bolts in. That big nut system up here does not stay straight when you're putting these in here. It's not very easy, and these bolts don't go very far when they go in. They're almost not long enough, but it's working, so making progress a little bit at a time here. I had to run away, so I gotta go grab it. Get that guy in there. With these things being designed the way they are, it's hard to tell if they start right because they have a notch cut in them. I don't know if you can see that. And they have Loctite or of some sort. It looks like green Loctite on these threads. Well, it kind of boogered up the end, so it's hard to tell if they start right, and you do not want to cross thread. And with the amount of dirt this truck has, it's also hard because I feel like I have dirt in there. So what I'll do, I will grab the socket, a ratchet, it says to measure from these cross beams, but this hole is pretty tight that is pre-drilled into this, so I'm not going to worry about it because there is really nowhere to move it, so I don't think that's really an option, so I'm not going to worry about it. It is a pretty snug fit, and I'm going to take my ratchet. It's a little bit easier than my hands, and snug some of these up so I know that they are actually in and they are not cross-threaded. If it were to just get really tight as soon as you start wrenching on these, then it is most likely cross-threaded. But since it is still easy, and I can do it with my one hand pretty close to the head of the ratchet, I know they're not cross-threaded and that they're just tight from that being boogered. I will go get my torque wrench, see if we can get this thing finished for today. Alright, got my torque wrench. It goes to 150 maximum, so this will be interesting to see if I can get that much torque out of this. It's going to be challenging. I'm going to have to sit up. Supposed to start with the bolts in the middle. Almost made a mistake, it didn't. There we go. Alright, that's that. All bolts are in. I gotta put the slide latch on. Now I can take that contraption down that I put to hold this up. I will come back later, put the handle on for this pull pin for the turnover ball, and I will reassemble the rest of my truck. I got the pin remover put together for the most part. Figure out how to get it up in there. It'll stay right there. I'm gonna have to move you guys over there. Whoop. So I move you again by accident. Whoop. Put in. Slide that bracket out. Boy, that's in a bad spot. Put these bolts on, or drop them. That always works too. Put one hand on the top so the nut stays in, the bolt stays in, so you can put the nut on. Grab your socket. Tighten it all down. And that's how that works. Everything's put together down here. So now I'll put the ball in. I'll show you on the side here where that sits. Right underneath there. Doesn't really stay open. There we go. Now put the turnover ball in. Well, that ain't gonna work, is it? Well, put it in like that and see how that works. If it doesn't stay open, that's not gonna be very easy for me to get it out. I don't know. Doesn't really stay open. I don't know how it's supposed to stay open. Hopefully I can get the ball back out. If not, it ain't gonna be very nice. No, I can't. Well, that's kind of stupid. Anyways, so this is your guide to drill your holes. Put that there like that. Once I get the ball back out, this will sit snug on the ball. So I figured something out. So to get the ball out, pull this, push it forward, and it latches underneath. I figured that out by just doing it by hand under here. As you can see, there's a niche right here. So we can pull that out, push it forward. Come on. Not hard to do one-handed here. It locks in that little spot so you can take the ball out. Just like so. And then the turnover ball then drops down. It's nice and flush. That's what I liked about it. I think it ain't perfect, but nobody will even know I have one. Voila. Now I'll put that pin back in, which I should be able to do right over the side of my bed here. My pin's back in. Put that in there like so. Put this over here, and I'm gonna set this over here on the side so you can watch. As you can see, there's a 3/4 ton and a 1 ton. These numbers match the numbers on the side of your box. 1314, 1314. So I will be drilling here and here, here and here. If you have a 3/4 ton, it'll be these outside marks. It's a 1/2 inch drill bit, but you want to start with a smaller drill bit first. I'm starting with a 5/32 drill bit, so I can get my holes in the right spot. Now that I did that, I can remove this. Now we can take the 1/2 inch drill bit. If you want, you can step it up in segments. I think I'm going to do that, so that way I'm not pressing so hard, taking so much material at one time. Drill bit's a little warm. Now I'm going to go with a 13/32. It doesn't matter what size you use, as long as your final drill bit is 1/2 inch. Alright, got a fresh battery. Try this. Alright, once you get all those drilled, hopefully these will go down through. And they do. Good. Awesome. Alright, now clean up all your chips. I'm going to spritz that with some paint to help protect it for the future. Got that cleaned up a little bit. Paint. You can tape that all up if you want to. It'll just rub off over time if not. Let that dry and then I'll show you real fast how these work. So to drop this through the hole. You got springs. These springs are inside of each other, so you got to undo them. Kind of tricky. That's alright. There we go. Put these springs on underneath, and they'll sit up against the bed frame, like so. So down underneath here, and then you put your bolts on. Like so, and tighten them down till they hit these the bottom out these threads. You're good to go. I will show you all of it completed once I complete it. Back under the truck, I'll go ahead and show you guys how to put these on. You got these two springs. Each U-bolt gets two springs. Put your spring on, push it up. Do one at a time here. And these bolts can go, or nuts can go either way. Alright, got one. And just run them up. Uh-oh. Just all about dead batteries today. There you go. And that's all it needs. I'll show you how it works up top. You just pull that up, hook your chain right to it. And that's it. That's everything to install. B&W turnover gooseneck hitch. So now you can reassemble your exhaust, put the heat shield back in for your tire, and put your tire back in. And that's the complete install for the gooseneck turnover ball. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe for future videos.